With the P2S, Bambu Lab launches a major upgrade on the level of the more expensive X1C, promising many improvements over the P1S. In our test, we took a closer look at the P2S combo in conjunction with the AMS2 Pro system for multicolor printing and present you with a detailed insight. The new P2S aims to build on the success of the P1S to do quite a few things better. The P2S brings a similar feature set so that found in the significantly more expensive X1C from Bambu Lab. After operating the P1S for a year and testing it extensively in various scenarios, the innovations in the P2S are immediately noticeable right from the assembly stage. In addition to quality of life upgrades, there are improvements on almost every level. Furthermore, the new P2S package pushes the price of the P1S down to currently €399. This is far below its original launch price, strongly suggesting a clearance sale of remaining stock. The P2S is positioned accordingly higher at around €600. In our opinion, the better package is the P2S combo with the AMS2 Pro, which is priced around €700. Technically speaking, Bambu Lab has opted for an improved extruder that is also easier to swap. The standard extruder with a 0.4mm thickness is likely the sweet spot for most prints and materials, even though the print bed and print volume remain the same, enabling prints with a maximum size of 256x256x256mm. A lot has happened on the inside. What struck us immediately is the improved interior lighting, which provides much better illumination of the build chamber compared to the P1S. Additionally, the new camera impresses with significantly better quality. It has also been expanded with a feature designed to detect print failures. We also see a significant upgrade in the included display. On the P1S, this was insignificant to us aside from debugging and status checks. On the P2S, however, a 5-inch panel with 854x480 pixel resolution is integrated as part of the package, and it packs a punch. This time, it's not only features color, but it finally offers an alternative to the software. You can now coordinate the printing of STL or other files directly via display. It also shows you much more information such as filament levels and visual representations of the sensors and settings. Furthermore, operation is significantly more intuitive than on the P1S. We ordered the package with the AMS2 Pro as there have been developments in the filament management as well. It can still hold up to 4 rolls of filament, but now the software allows you to read both the temperature and humidity inside the AMS2 Pro, which is enormously important when printing with materials like ABS. Another new feature is that AMS2 Pro can use an additional power cable to heat the inner chamber and thus dry the filament. Previously, separate devices were needed for this. Better control of temperature and humidity reduces warping during printing, which minimizes failures. You can also connect an additional AMS or AMS2 Pro to the P2S if you are printing in multiple colors. The P2S automatically switches filament for multicolor printing and stops if there are any issues. In our opinion, Bambu Lab has truly refined the systems by now. Based on our experience with the P1S, we initially had slight concerns regarding shipping. Back then, there was a transport damage to the knob of the front glass, even though that was quickly solved thanks to the printable STL file provided by Bambu Lab. With the P2S, however, these worries provided completely unfounded. The packaging is more thoughtful this time, so our unit arrived without any damage. The scope of delivery is also convincing and offers more than just the bare essentials. Although the P2S comes with slightly fewer gimmicks and additional hot ends compared to the P1S, it scores points with the practical accessories like thermal paste, hot end covers and parts for a scrapper that you can print and use immediately yourself. Overall, we would rate the packaging as excellent and the scope of delivery as good. After starting up, the device asks for the language and then the region. You confirm everything via the green Next button in the top right. The touch panel is fast and quite precise. After selecting the Wi-Fi and entering the password, the printer can be reached via the network and configured further. You must confirm the terms and conditions and then establish a connection with the Bambu app via QR code. Afterward, you link the printer to your Bambu Lab account and go through the rest of the setup. After naming the printer, there are a few more prompts on the display. Once confirmed, the initial calibration can begin, which took about half an hour in our case. On the P1S, control via the display was possible but slow and tedious, which is why we lost motivation to use it fairly quickly. With the P2S, this is different. Thanks to the higher resolution and touch input, operation is actually very pleasant. The home menu contains general information on the printer's condition and status. From here you can also get directly to the AMS and see how many filaments are available. Access to the files is also just a button press away. There are some useful projects that can be started directly from here. Alternatively, some are available for download. The SD card slot of the P1S has been eliminated, instead a USB port is now used. Under settings you can already see a lot of information about the printer and can also adjust parameters directly, including temperature and fan speeds. In the AMS submenu, there is an option for further adjust filament settings directly on the printer to recognize which filament has just been loaded. Through the spools, the printer can read the amount of filament and displays this visually. Bambu Lab filament spools all have RFID chips, allowing the printer to instantly recognize the filament and select the correct settings for the material. In our opinion, this convenience feature was clearly missing before, and we are glad it's now available. After a print or in case of errors, the display shows tips or information that can help you. Anyone buying a Bambu Lab 3D printer should ideally work directly with BambuStudio. The tool is free, standardized for all printers and is truly very detailed. There are frequent patches and extensions. The manufacturer tries everything to remove any limitations, though it must be clearly stated that this version is tied to the Bambu Lab cloud and data transfers with the printers happens over the internet. For critical environments, there are more expensive versions of the printers that run without the cloud, but for home users and small businesses, this variant is simply the best in our opinion. After a year of getting used to it, we are convinced by the software. However, in our opinion, you are better off creating your technical designs with alternative software like Autodesk Fusion or Blender. But when it comes to printing, slicing and print preparation, BambuStudio is simply the best solution. At the beginning, you feel you wear forward effortlessly because there are so many options, but Bambu Lab has a solution here too, Bambu Lab Academy. Through the provided videos and text, you intuitively learn a lot about the printer and the software. Via an achievement system, you earn points and certificates which you can use for Maker World. Those of you who only want to print projects from other will get very far with the integrated search in Maker World, as you usually find ready-made prints delivered with the necessary settings here. However, you can also load other STL or CAD projects and then print them in parts or multiple color via BambuStudio. In case of errors, in addition to the error code, there is a link to the website which often explains solutions with videos. New to the P2S is also detection of print failures. This can be activated and the sensitivity can be fine-tuned. For us, this was a great help, especially for overnight prints to counteract resource waste. Due to our long experience with the P1S, on which we tried a lot and primarily aimed for higher quality printing, we approached the P2S with high expectation. The assembly experience was even better than with the P1S. Compared to the small 3D printers that you have to build by hand from individual parts, the P2S is completely different caliber, coming ready with a closed housing. The assembly proceeded without any frustration and bordered on fun. The setup was also simple, and if you are already in the Bambu Lab ecosystem with an existing account, operation is a breeze. Additionally, we had good experiences with the original heat plate, as we do not use glue and do not apply anything to the bed. Adhesion is definitely not worthy. However, you should occasionally clean the plate with a rubbing alcohol. The fact that the plate is removable making working with the P2S convincingly simple. We had no problems with the BambuStudio either, everything was super. The better camera and the stronger homogeneous light made quick checks via a smartphone in between a good experience. During printing, the P2S is often clearly audible, but not excessively loud. You can also turn the fans down significantly if needed. If the components get too hot, the printer automatically spins up the fans. Most of the time it leaves the fans at lower speed. Since the system has only one nozzle, filament waste occurs during material changes due to the process. The residues are unavoidable but can be collected and prepared for the later recycling. If you don't turn on ironing in BambuStudio, the transitions between layers are rough. You can sand them down or rework them afterward, or you can print directly with the ironing option, which however extends the duration of your print. In our opinion, the results are always significantly smoother and nicer. The quality of life improvements of the P2S have won us over, and this is why we should always recommend this printer. With the AM2S Pro, the printer is a strong solution with which you can print many materials as well as more professional products and mockups. The reliability of the P2S is high and we ran into fewer problems than with the P1S. The new P2S from Bambu Lab is a real asset for those who want to print models from frequently with a 3D printer. The new touch display makes the interaction with the printer even more pleasant, and the new interior lighting and high-resolution camera ensure better monitoring of the print even while on the go via smartphone. Cloud connectivity is unfortunately a must unless you are willing to reach for the more expensive standalone Pro devices. Printing and debugging with the P2S are excellent, especially in combination with the new AM2S Pro. Printing with multiple materials and/or colors is child's play. The automation is implemented in an exemplary manner. With an additional power supply unit, the AM2S Pro can even dry the filament, and the humidity and the temperature are displayed on the software. Even though the maximum print volume remains identically, new filters, ventilation and improvements in every nook and cranny give us the impression that the P2S has been lifted into a higher class without raising the price. Those looking for an option and cheap 3D printer will certainly not reach for the P2S. The P1S is obsolete and is being sold for around €400, while the P2S is positioned around €600. This makes it far more expensive than the open 3D printers that you have to assemble yourself, but it also plays in a different league. We see the price as more than reasonable for what you get, especially since it's on the same level of the more expensive X1C. However, we would recommend always buying the P2S with the AM2S Pro, which can be purchased as a P2S combo for around €700.